The rodent is too large for the snake to swallow, but it can feast on its offspring. However, the snake underestimated this maternal instinct. The rabbit demonstrated everything it was capable of, surprising the reptile. To be honest, it surprised us too. Who would have suspected such impressive combat qualities from an ordinary female rabbit? Just look at how desperately she fights. Powerful paw strikes alternate with painful bites. She jumps, rebounds from the ground, and even from the snake itself, constantly spins, maneuvers, and delivers blows again and again. The snake is no longer pleased that it came to attack the offspring of this eared ward princess. The reptile surely regretted its choice of opponent when it received several bites to the neck and torso. The rabbit's teeth, although designed for plant-based diets, can handle quite hard vegetables. And therefore, snake's scales pose no problems. Unfortunately, the lesson taught by the rabbit to this reptile cost her too much. She received her dose of venom. Several minutes after concluding this epic duel, the toxic stopped the heart of the female rabbit. Still, it seemed she knew what awaited her and fiercely gave her last fight. Such bravery would be admired not only by lions, but even by the 300 Spartans. Perhaps the reason for this desperate behavior is that the snake managed to deal with the rabbit's offspring, and the female had no one left to protect. Therefore, she decided to avenge the little ones at least. However, many scientists would find such behavior too complex for a rabbit, which is not considered a particularly intelligent animal. But we can't find another explanation. What do you think about this? Share your opinion in the comments. There's an opinion that a squirrel is just a rat with a fluffier tail. The tail, along with the tufts on their ears and the ability to grasp objects with their front paws, gives squirrels a cute appearance. People tend to view them more positively than other rodents. However, it's merely good PR. Squirrels are not innocent creatures constantly in need of protection. They can be as audacious and strong as large rats. Just look at those eyes. Do you see a cute little face? In reality, it's the gaze of a troublemaker just asking for a fight. Still don't believe me? This snake thought this was going to be an easy snack. And why not? Just sneak up, catch it, inject some venom, and that's it. You can swallow the prey, incapable of any serious resistance. That was a fatal mistake. The reptile encountered its most dangerous opponent in life. As soon as the squirrel noticed the snake, it immediately launched a frontal attack. Surprising, right? That's not the last surprise this little red animal has in store. It fought like a tiger. Even better, considering the snake is about 3 times longer relative to the squirrel. Tigers tend to retreat when facing large pythons, but this squirrel not only attacked, but managed to defeat the snake in a couple of minutes. Remarkably, the rodent's tactic proved dangerous yet effective. Most animals that hunt venomous snakes engage from a distance. A lightning-fast strike, a bite, or a hit, then retreat before the snake can counterattack. But the squirrel engaged in close combat. It used its paws and sharp teeth at such speed that the snake had no chance to inject its toxin. In the end, the snake couldn't land a single bite on the squirrel. The rodent's sharp teeth, which easily cracked tough nutshells, similarly penetrated the snake's scales, reaching its vulnerable spots. Surprisingly, this is not a unique case. Squirrels terrorize snakes worldwide. It seems after millions of years of tyranny, rodents have risen and learned to resist their old enemies. Various squirrel species attack pit vipers in America and cobras in Asia and Africa. Soon, snakes might need to switch to some other prey. In the end, you see another squirrel successfully dealing with a venomous snake without any losses. Perhaps the overwhelming attack and aggression of an ordinary rodent are linked to the squirrel's nest being too close to snake territory, putting its defenseless offspring at risk. Why wait for a dangerous enemy to attack your home when you can encounter it beforehand and strike on your terms? This logic saved the baby squirrels, just like their parents' bravery. By the way, now you'll know that squirrels don't only eat plant-based food, like berries and nuts. Like many other rodents, they are omnivores, so the snake becomes a nutritious dinner for the fluffy red warrior. There are snakes that can hunt adult crocodiles and alligators, but they are few. Only the largest and strongest pythons can handle such a powerful and dangerous opponent. An anaconda, or an adult reticulated python, poses a real threat to crocodiles. But all other snakes are just another prey for them. This snake didn't understand what it was getting into, and tried to use its usual tactics. Coil, strangle, swallow. Bad choice. The crocodile was too large for this reptile. It couldn't pierce through the crocodile's armored scales. Meanwhile, the snake's own skin is quite smooth, a perfect target for the crocodile's jaws. This giant is armed with a jaw with powerful teeth. The bite force can crush through metal. The crocodile seizes the snake with its jaws. Thanks to its long body, it's almost impossible for the snake to evade the bite. Then the crocodile employs its favorite tactic. It vigorously shakes its head from side to side, winding up the snake. It looks pretty brutal, but this fighting style is not just a cruel whim of the crocodile, but a calculated tactic. Due to these movements, the reptile's fangs inflict deeper wounds on the snake, weaken it, and may even harm its spine. In the end, the snake becomes more practically paralyzed, and the crocodile easily concludes the battle in its favor. It might seem like snakes are just targets for the torment of other animals, but not at all. These legless reptiles have instilled fear in other species for millions of years. Snakes have become efficient predators by fully utilizing the opportunities that their limbless bodies provide. It might seem strange, but the absence of limbs indeed helped snakes. Their bodies lack a clear division between the neck, torso, and tail. Thus, they use all the muscles along their bodies for movement and as weapons. Pythons and boas can effectively use this weapon directly for hunting. These snakes don't need to locate the prey's neck to strangle it. The strength of these muscles is incredible, and when they coil around their prey, they gradually tighten the rings, repeatedly contracting these muscles, and they can compress the prey's chest in a way that with each exhale, there's less and less room in the lungs for the next inhale. There's simply no space to breathe. The snake's body doesn't allow it. Additionally, the reptile's mass hinders normal breathing, increasing blood pressure and gradually incapacitating internal organs. Due to the reptilian cardiovascular system's inferiority compared to mammals, reptiles have much less endurance. But the python's or boa's muscle structure allows them to grapple with prey for a whole hour, weakening it with each passing minute. Escaping from this grip is extremely challenging. Even if the animal is 1.5 to 2 times heavier than the snake, once caught in such a trap, the likelihood of survival diminishes with each passing minute. After overcoming the prey's final resistance, pythons or boas squeeze its body even tighter to inflict internal damage. Rib fractures and spinal injuries ultimately eliminates the prey from the fight. Besides, bone fragments severely damage the prey's lungs and heart. The leopard was about to meet such a fate. Scared for this beautiful animal, aren't you? Well, the leopard is scared too, but it not only overcomes its fear, but also utilizes its main advantage to resist the crushing force of snake's embrace. And the agility. That's the spotted panther's trump card. Leopards are the smallest amongst panthers. Although they are large enough to stand on their hind legs to look at an adult human in the eyes, leopards significantly lag behind lions, tigers, and jaguars in terms of physical strength. Yet leopards remain one of the most successful predators, excelling in agility over perhaps all other wild cats. Certainly, they are faster than this fearsome snake. The snake managed to grab the leopard and began coiling around it. The clock is ticking. If the cat succumbs to fear and starts darting around, the trap will snap shut. And the leopard will become a satisfying dinner, sustaining the snake for weeks. Yet the brave panther doesn't make this mistake. It clearly sees where the snake's grip is weakest and successfully breaks free from the trap. The leopard escapes at the very last moment and literally leaps to freedom. But if you think that after a lucky escape, the leopard retreats never to approach snakes again, you're clearly underestimating this cat. It counterattacks the reptile and pounces on it. The leopard understands that the snake's strength lies in its coils that it uses to constrict its prey. So by stretching the reptile to force it to support its body upright, it removes the snake's opportunities for a tight grip. The snake has no limbs. The leopard uses this tactic and attacks the snake with its own claws. But the cat acts deliberately, improvising and calculating with finesse during this extreme close-range battle with a larger reptile. Such ability to improvise and calculate on the go would be envied by the best MMA fighters. Wouldn't you agree? In other instances of battles with large snakes, leopards act the same way, wearing down the snake, striking it with claws several times. In comparison with other animals in its weight class, this panther's physical capabilities are pretty impressive. Each strike from the leopard could dent metal. The snake clearly regrets having to endure such punishment. It already regrets getting involved with this opponent. Then the cat provokes the snake, compelling it to stretch its body. After a few minutes of struggle, the panther concludes the battle with its powerful fangs. All right, when a relatively large and agile predator like the secretary bird confronts a snake, losing on the reptile's part can honestly be understood. After all, the secretary specializes in snakes. It defends their strikes with their whirling feathers on its wings and delivers devastating blows with blunt claws that work like hammers. Even a cobra could yield to such an opponent. Although the outcome of the battle doesn't evoke shock, the predatory qualities of the secretary bird and its tendency to engage in open combat instead of catching snakes off guard deserves respect.